It's a beautiful day. You're out hiking, taking a little break from the busy life of the city, just trying something new. And then you take a little different route. There's an older trail right here, you know, looks interesting. Let's try something out. And you know, before long, you start to wonder where the trail went. And you just keep hiking, you know, not really realizing where you're going, just making your way through the woods. And before you know it, you look around and you realize that you didn't recognize anything. And your quick little day hike just turned into a survival situation. Ugh. So, here I am, lost in the woods. The best thing to do in this situation is to just hole up for the night, hope for the best, and then maybe tomorrow will bring a new situation. Now, in order to build a shelter, I need to know what I have first. I brought a pack here, just a typical hiking pack. But the most important thing I brought is my knife. Never go anywhere in the woods without a good outdoorsman knife and the knowledge of how to use it. So I'm just going to head out, and my first order of business is going to be to find a good place to shelter up for the night. Alright, so one of the things I like to do when I'm hiking, I like to have a good hiking stick. And actually, I think this will do right here. So, I'm going to set you up. Go to town here. Now that I've got this, I'll cut it to probably 5 feet or so. Right here might do the trick. Oh, I think this would be great. This little area right here, we've got a nice sturdy tree here, fairly level, you know, but it's a little bit higher than the rest of the ground. So I think the water's not going to run right through here. And I've got plenty of, as you can see, plenty of building supplies from nature. The sun's setting. So I'm going to try and set up a camp here, see what I can do. Before I get started on this shelter, I think I better go through what I have. I've just got a basic little day pack. And I brought some stuff, but not anything more than somebody could carry, you know, reasonably on a day kind of hiking trip. So let's go through what I've got. I already showed you my knife. You know, gotta have a good knife in the woods, so that's number one. Also, in my pocket, got this sucker. Very multi-purpose item for whatever you might need. I'll lay this down here so you can see stuff a little better. Maybe you'd like to look down a little more. There. Starting off, a little flashlight with a lanyard. Also, I have a small head warming hat. Pair of gloves, or at least glove liners, very thin. That'll help keep my little handsies warm tonight. I have a small 22 Magnum revolver, shells for the gun, and also some hearing protection, because there's no sense not having some hearing protection when it weighs absolutely nothing. 20 feet of paracord. I have a fire steel. As you can see, this makes lots of sparks. That doesn't mean fire, it means sparks. So hopefully we'll be able to turn that into a fire tonight, or I'm going to be really cool. A water bottle full of fresh water. Camping cup goes with the cup, fits on there. And I think I've got one more thing. Yep, here we go. There's one of these survival blankets. Hopefully it'll be good. It'll keep me warm tonight. So that's what I have. Of course, the clothes on my back, but they'll be freezing at night if I don't make a shelter. So I'm actually going to get on that pretty quick here. Alright, so I'm just looking around here at the campsite, and first of all, I'm thinking this puppy needs to go here. He is in the way. He's not doing much for us, so we're going to just... Alright. Now what I'm doing with this is I see a little Y here. So I'm just going to cut this off about here, so that'll help. See what I'm throwing out right there? That'll do, I suppose. I showed you this stick already. I actually put it on this end and raised this end up a little bit to put in. And then on this end, I got a bigger stick, tree actually, and prop this up. So you can see I've got a sturdy ridge line at, you know, waist height, a little bit less than waist height. The idea here is I'm gonna make a little lean-to. So, you know, these sticks are just dead sticks everywhere. This one's a little bit too rotten, but here's the idea. Is you just keep leaning sticks up against that all across the backside, and then you know, put stuff on top of that and you'll have a little roof over your head. Hopefully I'll bring you back when it's a little bit more done. So I just went out and chopped down these pine trees, probably in about 5 minutes. They're real easy to do. Just take a tree and these pine trees, just bend it over like so. You'll stress the bottom of it, and if you just take your knife and pop it a couple times, it'll just break right in half like that. This is gonna help me really spruce up my shelter. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I scraped all the dead leaves and stuff away from where I'm gonna be laying because it's all nasty and wet and all this stuff. So I figured I'd get down to at least the base of mud. And then I'm just gonna lay some sticks on top of that and stuff like that. And then put more stuff on top of these sticks. That way I'll be completely off of this wet stuff. And so I'm just gonna use these pine trees, use all the needles and all like that stuff to, to lay down here for my bed. And then also to work on this whole roof deal, which has a lot of work to be done. So, getting dark, let me get back to work. Yeah. I have fire. I'm just feeling pretty good about my fire now. Had a lot of trouble getting it going. I didn't have enough tinder. I didn't put enough time into preparing the fire to be lit. So I had to use this flashlight to go out there and find some dry grasses and things. The very tops of them were dry enough to be lit. And it was still tough to get lit, but I got it going. And it's finally just getting to the point where it's drying out all these damp sticks and things like that. And feel much better about that now that I've got some fire, because the shelter is, well, it's not a shelter, it's a weird looking thing in the woods. So I'm going to actually use my survival blanket and hopefully drape that over what I've got so far, and hopefully that'll be enough to get me through the night. I finally have the fire going really well now, and like I said, I'm going to get the survival blanket out, and I am basically gambling my entire shelter on this survival blanket, because as you can see, it's got a few holes in the roof as of right now. My bed down there made out of pine needle boughs is doing excellent, but I'm going to open up this survival blanket and see what can be done with this. Right, I heard something. I don't know what it is, but I see it over there, some little critter. See him moving around? What is that? I can just make it out, but I don't know what it is. I could just shoot it, but I don't want to clean an animal. Let's go see what it is. Oh, armadillo. See him in there? That's something. What up, little fella? I guess I'm in the same neighborhood. Where are you going, bro? Hey man, I ain't gonna mess with you yet. I bet he's got another way out. He went over here. He's probably got another part of his den there. That just goes to show you, if you're really hungry, you could eat that thing. I don't think armadillo's the best eating, but I could set a trap there and probably get him. I could have just shot him right there, but we'll be a good neighbor for tonight. Maybe we'll see you in the morning. I guess that was kind of exciting. Rather an armadillo than a coyote. So, doing good. Looks like I need some more wood in the fire. So let me get to that. I think what I might do here is I might make some tea. I've got some clean water still in my canteen. And I think I'll get a little bit of my pine needle bed, stick that in the cup with some water and boil it up and have some pine needle tea. Pine needles actually have a lot of vitamin C, so for whatever that's worth. Anyway, hope y'all are warm too. Here's my heater. I'm actually surprisingly warm. Don't feel cold at all. This space blanket is doing actually a phenomenal job of reflecting the heat from the fire back at me. I'm actually impressed. It kind of feels like I've got a fire on both sides of me. So that's nice. And I'm just feeding big logs on the fire now, and I will, let's see, where is it? My tea has cooled down enough. Can you see that? Maybe. See that? That's my canteen cup. I've got tea in it. So I'm gonna sip on that for a little bit here. A bit hungry, but hopefully we'll be able to fix that in the morning. So anyway, peace out. All right, good morning. It's the second day, and I just saw a little, I think it's a squirrel up in this big oak tree over here. So, don't know what's gonna happen here, but maybe we can get some breakfast. We will see. So, that's the game plan here. Well, it seems I lost a squirrel. What's happening is day 2. Thank goodness. Last night was rough. By rough, I mean very cold. Here's the shelter I dealt with. It actually looked a little bit better last night. The wind kind of kicked up, quote, kicked up this morning and messed up my tarp a little bit. But as you can see, this shelter is pretty pathetic. Completely pathetic. And I paid for it last night because I was mighty cold. Not the worst night I've had in the woods. Definitely had some colder nights, but that was not one of the better ones. So I tried to go hunting this morning. I saw some different animals, but nothing I could take a good shot at. So we're gonna have to wait on breakfast and probably lunch too. But I think I will just get started on the shelter, see what I can do. I'll totally revamp it, get going on that, and then I'll bring you back when I've made some progress. Here's what we've got so far at the new shelter. I just took the tarp off and then I totally took all the the ribs off, and then on this end, I lowered this main pole right here. So that's, you know, probably a foot off the ground, and then it gets higher towards that end. And then I just got a bunch of sticks, put them on there for ribs, and then, let's see that. I've been weaving and throwing on vegetation for a while here now. And so the idea is, now that I've got that basic framework, I'm just gonna basically take debris off the ground, all these leaves, and throw them on there. And with a thick enough layer, that should be enough to keep it windproof and waterproof and help keep you warm. Alright, well, you know how much trouble I had with that fire last night? There's the camp right there. If you look down right here, I think we have not just any stump, a fiery stump. See how tough that is? If we come down here, cut it open. Yep. I was right, see that? If you could smell it, I'd let you smell it, but that's lighter pine is what we call it anyway. Basically, the sap in the pine tree all gets concentrated down here, and then it doesn't really deteriorate. The stump just sits here, and then if you light that on fire, it burns forever like a lantern. So that's definitely gonna help with the fire tonight. So what's up? So the hunting has not gone favorably. So I've resorted to gathering hopefully food items with less escaping abilities. So right here you'll see a bunch of acorns I picked up from just right around the ground around here. They were on dead branches on the ground. I just picked them off. So I'm gonna take them out of their little shells, put them in here. Right here I have several thistle leaves. If you cut the spines off and then clean them up, you should be able to eat them just fine. I've had the stalks before, but never the leaves. So I'm going to wash these off, cut the spines off, and then I think I'll boil them a little bit, soften them up. Just eat them kind of like lettuce or cabbage, I guess. And then kind of do a similar thing with the acorns. So wish me luck. Well, surprise, surprise on these acorns here. They are not edible. Why do you ask that? Because when you pop them open, they look all pretty, right? Good to go. The inside of them is way past due. So I guess there's a reason squirrels haven't picked them up off the ground. So all these I spent time gathering going to be the basis for my fire for my thistle leaves. So hopefully we'll have better luck with those. These woods are full of dead trees. I don't know why, but trees just like to die. But anyway, like, look at this. This thing just, oh, look, there's some wood. And then, oh, that's a nice tree, right? Guess what? It's dead. Hopefully I can do this without hitting myself in the head with a giant log. That one might be too strong to come down. Okay, well that one's a little stubborn, but like right here, you know, just a big old stick in the ground. Okay, that one's stubborn too. But anyway, my point is there's a lot of firewood, you know, arm sized or so, really easy to gather, so that's nice. Definitely want to use what you have available instead of hacking wood to pieces and using up more energy. Fire. is that lighter pine I was telling you about earlier. Once you've got it lit, it just burns like kerosene. Alright, second night. Here's the shelter I got working here. And realistically, you want a lot more leaves on top than I've got here. But it shouldn't rain tonight, and I've got the fire for warm. So, you know, I did what I could, and I think it'll do pretty well. Certainly better than last night. Well, good morning. Well, it's the third day. Last night was not a good one. I know the night before wasn't the best, but last night was really bad. The shelter was great. You know, definitely up to par on that and the fire. I was warm when I needed to be, but over a day without food and then not drinking enough as I should, really, body was not doing me very well last night. Actually, I knew I was getting dehydrated because I had a terrible headache, so I drank a good bit of this. Not that much, but you know, a little bit. And I was too dehydrated, nothing in my stomach, got sick from that. So that was great. But it is what it is. Today's third day, new day. I'm getting tired of this whole surviving thing, so I'm thinking I'm going to, first of all, see if I can get some food in a more traditional sense. Maybe nature will help me out if I, you know, am a more natural hunter. And then also, I'm going to see if I might be able to work my way out of here. Obviously, nobody has come to get me, so maybe if I just start going one way, I mean, it's not that secluded out here. There's likely to be a road somewhere, so hopefully I can find my way out today. But anyway, wish me luck. All right, I'm going to cut this part of this tree down here. Let me show you. Using a knife, you know, some people might just hack at it, but that's not the most efficient way to do it. What you do, put your knife up against it about a 45-degree angle, and then you take a stick, a baton, and you baton it into the tree. Just drive it in there at that angle, like that. Much better than trying to chop with a little knife with hardly any weight to it. And then get a little on the other side. And then when you're ready, just grab it, bend it off, and break it the rest of the way. Alright, so if you can see what I'm doing here, I cut down this little sapling here, smoothed off the end, and now I'm splitting it with my knife into 4 different points just by splitting it in half like a cross. And then if I get 2 little sticks like this, what I can do is just work them down that way. And you can see what I'm getting here is a little 4-pronged spear. So I can use this to get, you know, frogs or whatever. It's just, you know, kind of out of reach here. I'll sharpen these points and then boom, and that makes it a lot easier to get them because you have more area where you can land a hit. It's like shooting a shotgun instead of a rifle. So I'll sharpen these up. Alright, so now what I'm doing with my bow is I'm heating up probably 6 inches before the end here, and then I'm bending it backwards, so when I get it done, hopefully you can see that a little bit, it's starting to bend up. Give it a little backwards bend because the bow is actually going to bend that way. Now I'm using this paracord here to make a bowstring. See, got my bow ready to go. Now the idea with this is that I don't have feathers or anything for fletching, but my idea is that maybe the friction caused by these little ropelets while it's in flight will cause enough drag to keep this part behind it. Don't know, never tried it, never seen it done, but we'll see. Alright, so I've got my weapons now. I've got my bow right here, ready to go. I've got my arrow, hopefully that'll do the trick. And then I've got my spear, or gig as I like to call it. So if I see something, you know, I can just get right here and just gig it. You know what I'm saying? Just gig them like that. So, you know, I've heard these work great, work fantastic actually on things like tigers, elephants especially, some frogs, things of that nature. So this is gonna be my main weapon. If I see something up close, I'm definitely gonna gig it like that. And then if something's farther off, I can just throw on this arrow and shoot them like that. So these are the weapons I'm going to try to hunt a little bit more naturally. Hopefully I can blend in more and have a better chance at a shot at an animal. But I think I'm also going to need to camouflage a little more, so I'm going to work on that. Alright, I've got what I think is a pretty effective natural camouflage job here, and then we're going to go out hunting and see what can happen. Alright, looks like I've come across a gorge here, a raging river. I have to cross this, and there's only one way to do it. It's too far to long jump across. You know, there's really only one way to do this, and that is to pole vault across it. You go get a nice pole. As you can see, I've got a nice pole here of some sort, about 2.5 inches thick. This should certainly support my weight. After that, is you want to take all your gear, you know, your gig for gigging them, you just gig that across the gorge there, and then your arrow. The best idea with that is to just pull in your bow right there and just shoot it across, and then your bow goes over there too. What you do is you get you, like I said, a nice pull, and then you back up a little ways, you get a little run start. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start running, and I'm going to gradually drop the pole, plant it, and swing across the other side. But there's a couple things you want to keep in mind when you're doing this. First off, you got a man-sized pole, get a man-sized grip on the pole. A lot of people will tell you to do like this elbow length grip. No, get out of here. Get a man-sized grip on that pole. And so you might want to kind of test it out. Make sure you've got the right hand grip. You know, that's probably pretty good right there. We're just going to do this live here, so here we go. That's how you do it. Discard the pole, grab your gear, and you're on your way. Alright, we're coming up here on a lake, and gosh, it's getting dark. I need to hurry up and find my way out. But it looks like this lake's too wide to cross or walk around normally. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can actually hear a road over there. So I wouldn't suggest this at all, but in this case, I know there's a road right over there, so I'm actually going to leave all my stuff here, do what you gotta do. Maybe somebody else could use that one day. And well, let's get out of here. Woo. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh. I told you I found the road. See ya.